your patience. We'll get started now. So first of all, uh, welcome and thank you so much for welcome and good evening, and thank you so much for joining the Master Franchise Hour. This is our third edition of the year. We'll be doing these sessions every week, same time, same day. I think there are some people who are missing today. So I think it's because maybe it's a longer week for a lot of people. So we'll do a very I would say focused and maybe a quick session. So let me just try and give you a sense on what this is about if you are joining for the first time. So this is, as I mentioned, it's a weekly webinar, a master franchise webinar. And to start with, let me introduce myself since I'm talking here. I'm Venus Barak, and I'm the CEO of FranGlobal. FranGlobal is the international arm. We are a market entry firm, and we are the international arm of Franchise India, which a lot of you would have heard about since you have joined a franchise webinar, which is Asia's largest franchise service company. But FranGlobal leads on international business. So as you can imagine, in fact, India is a very it's one of the largest or the largest after the US in terms of its domestic homegrown franchise market. And then, but there is also a demand of a lot of international brands, which started coming to our country, I think in the early 90s. So there are almost 750 to 800 international brands, and every brand, a majority of them, 90% of them, you see, you touch, you buy, you feel, most of them are actually here through either a master franchise or a license agreement. That's the most preferred way of, from the biggest of the brands you can think about, with the exception of few, to the smaller ones or the mid-sized ones. So master franchising is a global phenomenon, and is the most preferred way for international brands to expand globally, and for in enterprises and entrepreneurs in our markets across Asia, Middle East, and so on and so forth, to connect with and build great brands as their own in their market. So it's a good manage, right? I have been in this business for 16 years. Have been working in international business for 24 years, traveled almost 60, 70 countries. And and very privileged to lead the business of FranGlobal, and sort of, really work with brands and our potential partners here in India and the Middle East. So our main market, of course, is India. And I think, as I can see, majority of the people joining in today are from India. But we also service Bangladesh, which actually is coming up as a very strong market. You can imagine Bangladesh is, of course, is different in terms of size and geography. But if you're old enough, you would remember what was happening in the early 2000s. I mean, India was just in that phase of growth. Bangladesh is that market right now. So there's a lot of demand. So we service there, and we service UAE, which of course generally is that first footprint for a lot of brands, especially from the US. And we are building strengths in Saudi as I talk, and a couple of other markets. So that's about us. I hope that makes sense. I hope you would find what I've shared about myself and our company to what you would be looking for, which is that you would want to invest into, or you would want to acquire a good brand and build that brand in India or any other territory which you might prefer. Now, objective of this session is to share how master franchising is done, what's happening, if there's anything latest, and to really sort of build and connect with the community of existing and aspiring brand owners or developers. So that's the objective. And the expectation from this session from your side would be to get a sense on what is what it's like to sort of how it is to do master franchising, and what are the different ways a master franchise can be structured, maybe some examples, and what you need to look for when you want to buy a master franchise. And I think today, if we do get time, and we'll see if we would have time, is to get a sense on different costs associated in master franchise. Before I talk about that, this is a live session for anybody, for me and for you who have joined us, watching us on Facebook. So, well, actually, you can watch this later on Facebook as well. But for people who have joined us, this is a live session. I hope you can hear me clearly, but we make this live. We can record it earlier and put this on, but we make this live because we want to make this interactive, because that's how the communication happens. We want to hear from you. You've heard about who I am and what I bring on the table, but it would be really great if you share with me while you are here your name and where you're from, and what kind of brand you want to acquire, where you want to acquire it. You have any questions specific to a brand or an industry, or anything related to international franchise or brand development. I guess that's what would make these sessions more interesting, valuable for all of us. So I know we are all, webinars. There is some webinar. People are a bit tired and exhaustion from webinars, but this is a small group. Let's make this interactive. If you really are looking for a franchise brand, domestic, international, anywhere in the country, just put the question out, and I'll try and answer that. The session about that coming. So let's make this interactive. Just click on the quick Q&A box, and you should be able to send me and share with me your feedback and question, and I'll live right now answer them. I think that is going to be the fun part of this. So let's. So as I mentioned before, today, if we would have enough time, I would want to focus on, what are the different costs involved in international brand development. We see, today, so many brands, international brands out there, and we would get, I would at least get a call almost, if not more, once a week. I get a call from somewhere in India saying, my name is so and so. generally from, I mean, sort of good families that, I was in US and I spent some time there, or I studied there, and I ate Chipotle almost every other day. I hope people know what Chipotle. Anybody in the people who are here, anyone, have you heard about Chipotle? Has anyone? Can you write it in the box? Do you know what Chipotle is? Anyone knows? Heard about the brand? I would love to get that answer. Okay. So Chipotle is world's number one and largest Mexican wrap brand. Okay, let's see. Ajay Kumar, you don't know. Well, I've just told, but thanks for making the effort. Chipotle is an American brand, which happens to be the world's largest and number one brand when it comes to Mexican quick service business. And in the US, they have almost 2,000 stores. In fact, actually, they don't. Yes, Supriya, you're right. It's a fast food brand, but actually, it's not in burgers and pizzas. It is in Mexican food. So so they're famous for their what we call that burritos. So which has rice, beans, protein, chicken, and all those things. And they actually don't franchise, and it's a listed company. But I would get someone like, once a week, that Venus, actually, I want to bring in Chipotle to India. And actually, I've spoken to Chipotle in the US. Maybe I would speak to them almost every once a year, just to kind of catch up. And they will say they get at least 100 inquiries from India in a month. Now, it's a great brand, no doubt. It is a phenomenal brand, actually. But I mean, is it going to be, how would you roll it out in India? I mean, it is such a large exercise. So, and you need to have resources, experience, and a war chest of financial sort of capacity to be able to, and a patience of, if not more, 10 years. So what I'm trying to say is, first of all, I think what this proves, if you are with me, and I think you can agree with me, is that one, at the end of the day, big, small, medium doesn't matter. If you have 5 lakh rupees, you have 5 crore, 50 lakh, 50 crore, 500 crores. Doesn't matter. Everyone wants brand. Everyone want to invest into brand, right? Even if they have no idea. So that's the power of the brand. That's what, I mean, as a potential master franchise, you really need to sort of have a understanding of that, in that at the end of the day, it's all about the brand. And again, I think we would have a separate session on what really a brand constitutes of, but that's one thing. The second thing is that to make a brand successful in a market like India, I'm not confusing India with Dubai. I cannot. India is not Dubai. We are, I mean, India can have at least 25 Dubais, and still can have 25 more. So in terms of opportunity and population, and culturally we are very different. We are an economy which is growing highly, and so every brand, irrespective of the size, I think if you are a potential master franchise, and forget for the country, even if you are looking, okay, I want to take this brand and I want to only develop that, say, in the city of Pune. I know people who are managing master franchisees there. You need to build a specific plan for that city, for Pune, and at least give it a 10 to 20 year planning, and at least for the first 5 years, patience in terms of developing the business. So I think so. Master franchise one is about the brand, and brand doesn't mean size. Let me tell you, the bigger the brand, the more it is painful to work on it, with it. And of course, I mean, if it's a very big brand, imagine your ability to negotiate with them. It is limited, right? So brand is a brand. I know brands which are just, 5 locations, and they're brands. So that's one. Second is you need to have some patience. Since I've been been around in this business for a long time, I've been part of the deals, no deals which were done, and everything was there. Money was paid, money was spent, but I guess the the deal was done or the brand was acquired, not with let's say what will happen in year 6. How would I make value? How would I create value? How would I grow the business? So there are 3 kinds of cost in master franchise. First one is the upfront cost. Most of people, get busy with this, and it's okay. It's a visible cost. It's the cost of entry for you for the master franchise. So that's upfront cost. This is the most obvious one. People look at it, people publish this cost, people, and in my experience, I have seen the biggest, let's say, haggling happening at this cost. Okay, that's one cost. Second cost in this whole thing, I think, which you need to really, as a budding, I'm assuming you are here because, or you're listening to this even later, that you want to actually acquire a master. So in master franchising, the second cost is the opportunity cost. What is an opportunity cost? Ultimately, it's all about time. So the opportunity cost for when Domino's was brought into India, 94, 95. This was, I was still in school. This was almost 25, 26 years back. No, actually, I was not in school. So the cost of opportunity for Jubilant, the Hindustan time guys, was insane, right? Nobody was eating pizzas, or for that matter, McDonald's became same time burgers, or Subway sandwiches, cold sandwiches and on that. But so what they betted on was that India is, the economy just opened up few years back, like 2 or 3 years back. The government decided to open up the economy, and few of these people were there at the right time, at the right place, and placed the right bet. So for them, the opportunity cost was different. They knew that, the business is not going to, become anything interesting for the first 15 years. And it didn't. I think with the 1,400 stores of, 1,500 stores of Domino's in India, the 1,000 ones have, I think, only come in years. So the cost of opportunity, please factor that in. Market today is, so there are different opportunities now. So let's say today is 2022. The time is different, the market is different. So if you really want to build a great brand, a great business in any sector, doesn't matter. India is a market where everything is growing. Tell me something which would not grow unless that industry is dying by itself, let's say fossil fuels or something. That's a different story that that some is being made redundant because of the time, technology, and so on and so forth. So India, I think you need to see, and it doesn't matter if you're looking only at, okay, I'm based in Gurgaon, and I think I know my city, Gurgaon. I've done my research. I know the city, I know the people. I've seen it growing in the last 15 years. I have a sense where it's going to grow in next 15 years. And again, it can be any city in India. It can be the next sort of 100 cities in India, doesn't matter. But you need to understand where it is growing, and accordingly then bet on the brand, the industry, because your opportunity cost for that industry would be different in 2030, would be even different in 2025. It would be more, and the vanilla space opportunity would come down because there are many players, you know. So in my business, that's what we do. Our main business requires working with enterprises, partners, people, and help them find opportunities where they can even factor in the opportunity cost. So, I mean, understand what those opportunities are today. For example, people today see F&B is an obvious sector, right? I mean, everyone, I would say, out of 10, 7 people, maybe more, 8 people we talk to as a team, want Venus, mujhe to bhai food ka kuch kholna hai. That's the first thing. And again, these are people from all kinds of spheres, real estate, professionals. I'm talking to professionals who are leaving their jobs and wanting to enter. They want to open F&B. A lot of local traders, anybody. But it's actually so we know that this wasn't the case 10 years back. So the food and beverage industry has already seen almost 25 years of that first sort of round of growth, players, market, stakeholders, blah, blah. The next 20 years are not going to be like the next 25. If you can predict, if you can validate the business case, what would happen in, let's say, is the specific food category, it can be dessert, it can be cafe, and put this on a plan, find a brand. I mean, that's interesting. Or you can also look at industries, sunshine industries, which are growing, and then but still where if you put in your money and your efforts and your resources, you can actually create some leadership. And again, please, I don't want to I've learned this way. I'm not talking sort of you can, big is country master. No, big can be anything. It ultimately, it's all about you. So opportunity cost, and you need to keep it as part of your planning. If you want to build a business. So first, of course, is upfront cost, which is obvious. And second cost is the opportunity cost. And for every sector, for every brand, for every city, the opportunity cost is variable, it's different, and it changes, and it keeps on changing. The real estate industry, let's say in NCR 15 years back, is different from where it is now. It will be completely different 15 years down the line. So that's one, the opportunity cost, very important in master franchising, international business. So you see brands like IKEA investing $250 million. Do you think, they're expecting that return anytime soon. It's going to take decades. But once it is done, then a market like India has strong economic indicators. So I think evaluation of opportunity cost as a potential master is actually super important, because the majority of the brands which are here in India or anywhere else, the owners who bought it in majority, and the good ones, are actually calculated this opportunity cost. And then, so what today would take, let's say, today it would take 100 crores. In 90s, they had to only do like 10 crores, 15 crores. But was risk at that time, was insane amount of risk. But again, it all depends upon your research, your validation. And we do that work with a lot of families, a lot of entrepreneurs who would want to understand the cost of opportunity and what it would look like. Third is which again is most ignored, and eventually is the cause of the brand not working out. The cost is the maintenance or management and scale cost. In an international master franchise business, you are not buying in one store, two store, three store, four store story. What you are really doing is the scalability. You will only be able to justify the investment of your time, money, resources, dealing with all that if you are able to scale the business. Because in franchise business, especially, although we do luxury, but it's a mass business. If it is let's say if it's a burger store or a pizza store, if you're not building volume there, and a considerable volume, you are not going to make it. I don't know if, although I didn't eat at their stores in India, at their stores in US, Papa John's. Anyone knows Papa John's as a brand? It actually was there in India, and one of the best pizzas available. Really, that's the feedback I get from anyone I speak Papa John's about, and they eventually, and they acquired Pizza Corner also. At one point in time, there are 100 stores, but still, the management and the scale efficiencies were still, and there was a factor on the product and pricing, sourcing. So it just didn't make it, and one day they had to shut down. So even the biggest of the guys sometimes are not able to factor in. And I know, some things you cannot. Abapan, the bakery chain from US, almost had 100 stores in India, maybe more, with the Goenka, yes, Goenka group. They eventually took a call, which was a mix of sort of, maybe something, a strategic call for them to let go of that brand and business. So, but I'm talking country basis. But even if you, let's say, look at wherever you are based, let's say you are from Hyderabad and you want to build a business which is a 10, 20-year business, try and sort of factor in the management and the scale cost. First of all, you cannot justify the cost of management if you don't have scale. That's the truth. And your cost of management and maintenance initially is super high, because you have this new team, you have like 5 stores. It's a lot of red in the brand statement, and how long you can pay for sort of keep on sort of paying from pockets. You really need to very sort of calculatively decide how you're gonna uh, figure out the exposure on the upfront cost. Actually, that's the most obvious. Uh, it's it's a cost which really gives a lot of support. So, but again, you need to figure out what's the exposure on the upfront cost, what's the exposure on the opportunity cost. And third is the management and the scale cost. If you are able to sort of really, and I have a presentation, but I would, I think I just wanted to sort of quick session today where we discussed in summarization these three different costs, so I hope this give you some perspective. We'll try and discuss them in detail, in the next week. We as a company, I personally, as well as alongside with my team and our chairman, we work with both the brand. We work with the brand to help them figure out how to build the business planning strategy and sort of a go-to-market structure for a market like India. And on the second part, we work with investors, potential master franchisees, irrespective of the scale, figure out and see how we can, how you can look at an opportunity. That's very important. And the second is actually how to structure it. That's where I would say is our most I think two things. I think one is the representation to the brands. Even in the biggest of families cases, they would actually work with companies like ours for representation and sort of really get that right connect and contact in communication with the brand. So I would say that's our biggest strength. I personally, and this is just me, and I'm not talking all history of FranGlobal, would have met 5,000 brands, international brands, myself. We are connected with almost every country, major countries where there's a demand for franchise brands, and have relationships with their owners, with their teams, and in the community. That's one our biggest strength. Second would be to really structure the deal, which is right for the investor, right for you, right for the potential partner, and also for the market. If the cost of labor is less, the cost of product is less, our per capita is less, so you cannot, for example, if somebody is doing selling something for $50, we might have to, we won't be able to get that pricing in India, and then structure the deal, which is so structuring the deal is also, I would say, where we bring the most value and really bring these two parties together. So that's where most of my time is spent. Third thing we do in some cases is where we are the master. So we are a master for a couple of brands, so we have hands-on experience with what it takes to be a master. It's not easy. So when I say what I'm talking about is a mixture of experience of taking up brands myself, and in fact, we are going to launch a very exciting quick service restaurant from US in the pizza business. We recently acquired them. It's all over the news. This is going to be happening on coming Monday. So if you want to, we are only looking for area developers. So if you want to be part of a session, which would be about, the opportunity and the opportunity cost and overall the structuring of that model, it would be hard for a good area sort of international brand master franchise aspirant to really ignore or miss. So we'll share these details. You're part of our database now, so we'll share those details. So join me over there. But that's what we do. And the session, I have not got any questions today. So is there any feedback, any questions from anyone before I would end the session? Anything? Any questions you would have? Any feedback? So I don't see anything. So I hope this was helpful. This was valuable. And my colleague would reach out to you in case this is something which, and if you would want to have one-on-one discussion with me, we will set that up and see if we can help you in your journey of acquiring a master franchise. And you can, I'm going to put my email ID and number on the chat box. So this is my number and my email ID is this. So if you have anything, please reach out to me directly. Otherwise, enjoy your our national holiday tomorrow, and we'll be back again next Tuesday, same time, same day. Join us as much as possible for the Master Franchise Hour. Thank you so much for your time and have a great evening. Take care.